welcome to my channel. Today I am going to solve Excel Chapter 7 Cap Assessment Shipping. This is the 7th chapter of Excel section of my IT Lab course. I will do this assignment step by step and you can get your assignment done by watching this video. If you want me to do this assignment for you, if you want me to do this complete course for you, just contact me on WhatsApp, email or WeChat ID that I have mentioned in the description of this video, or you can see this. You can see my WhatsApp and email at the bottom of the screen now. So if you want me to do your other courses like accounting, management, finance, information technology or writing assignments as well, you can hire me. So let's start this assignment and solve this assignment step by step. So title of the assignment is Exp19 Excel Chapter 7 Cap Assessment Shipping. First we will move to first step of the document. Our first step of the assignment is to download your file, Excel file. This file where we are supposed to apply all the formulas and where we will do the calculation to solve this assignment. So I have already downloaded this file and I will show you. This is so this will be our Excel file where we are supposed to use do this assignment. This is our Excel file and we will use the formulas here to solve this assignment. So we will move to our step number 2. Step number 2 is in cell D7 we are supposed to apply a days function to calculate the number of days between the date arrived, this one, and date ordered. So basically we are supposed to calculate the number of days. That will be the difference between date arrived and date ordered, mean when this was ordered and when it is arrived. So then we will copy the function down to the column D to get the other values. So let's start this assignment and do this step now. We will go to our Excel sheet now. This is our Excel sheet. This is cell D7 and we are supposed to use the days function. So we will type days. It will give us the days function. You can see that this one. So our end date is date arrived, that is C7, comma our start date is, this is the start date, and our start date is date ordered A7. So when enter, so we will get the number of days, that is number of days. Now we are supposed to copy the formula down to the column D to get the other values. So we will use the fill handle. So we got the number of days for the sorry, other. So we are done with step number 2 now, and now we will move to our next step. Our next step is step number 3. So in step number 3 we are supposed to use switch function in cell F7. So it is saying that in cell F7 insert the switch function to evaluate the airport code. In cell E7 include mixed cell references to city names in the range F to F4. Use airport code as the text for the values argument. Copy the function down to the column F to get the other value. So we will use a switch function here. Switch function is always used to switch one name to another name. Let's do this step now. So we will go to our Excel sheet. This is Excel sheet and this is F7 and we are supposed to apply the switch function here. We will type equal sign and then we will write switch, then we will get the switch function. So switch function will have an expression that will be E7, this one, value 1. So value 1 will be the Austin, value 2 will be the DFW and value 3 will be the IAH, and we will switch this function to Austin and this one and this one. So let's do this step now. So we will type switch function and now we will insert on the, we will click on the insert function symbol. So our expression is E7. So our value 1 is the AUS and then it should switch to F2, this one. So we will we will make this as the absolute. So we will put $sign here. Our default value 2 is GFW, and then result 2 will be this one, and we will put the $sign. So our value 3 is this one, IH. IH, and result will be our F3, this one. So F4. Put a $sign here. So like this is FAUS, then it is switching to Austin. Now we will use the autofill handler to get the other names, and then we will see is it working correctly. Yes. So you can see that for IH it is switched to this one, and for DFW it is switched to this one. So we use a switch function here to switch these code to their city's name like this one. So we are done with step number 3, and we will move to our next step. Our next step is step number 4 now. So step number 4 is in cell H7, insert the if function to identify the shipping cost based on the airport code and the applicable shipping rate in range G2 up to G4. Use relative and mixed references correctly. Copy the function down to the column H. So in step number 4, we are supposed to insert the if function to identify the shipping cost based on the airport code. Let me do this assignment. Let me do this step now, and we will insert the if function now in our Excel sheet. Let's go to our Excel sheet and insert this function. So this is H7, and we are supposed to apply the function here in H7. So we will type the if function here, this one, and then click on this insert function symbol. So our logical test 1 is if F7 is equal to Austin, then value will be G2, this one, and we will make it absolute by putting the $sign. So this is our test 1. If it is Austin, then value will be 24, that is G2. If F7 is equal to the second name, this one, we will type this one here. So this is our second name. So value will be G3, and if F7 is equal to the third name, that is Austin, then value will be equal to G4. That will be this one, G4. So we are using if function because we have logic test more than 2. When we have logic test more than 2, we use the if function. So false logic test is if F7, that is the name, is equal to Austin, the value will be G2. If the F7 is equal to this name, value will be G3. And if the F7 is equal to this name, the value will be G4. When we will click on that, we will get the values and we will get the result. So when we will click on OK, we will get this value. Now use a fill handle down to the column H to get the other values. So we got the other values for the shipping cost using the if formula. So now we will move to our next step, and our next step is step number 5 now. In step number 5, it is saying that in cell I7, insert the if function with nested AND function. So now basically we are supposed to use if and AND function in combination to determine the shipping refund. The AND function should ensure both conditions are met. Total days is greater than total days delivery goal C3 and order. Total is equal to or greater than order total threshold. If both conditions are met, the refund is 50% of the shipping cost. Otherwise, the refund is 0%. So these are the requirements for the logic test. When we will use the if function, we will put the logic test in combination with the AND test, and we will get the values in cell I7. Let's do this step now. So let's move to our sheet and use the formula if formula to get the values in cell I7. This is I7 and we are supposed to use the if function nested with AND function. Let's do this step now. So we will use the if function here and click on the insert function symbol, and now we will type the AND function because this is the nested function. So our first condition is total days is greater than total delivery goal C3. So total days is greater than total days is D7 greater than C3 delivery goal C3. So we will type C3 here. That is our first condition, and our second condition is order date is equal to or greater than order total threshold. So order date is date order So it is saying that order total is equal to. So order total is this one. Sorry. Order total is this one. This is order total. It should be greater than equal to. That is our condition. This is equal to or greater than. So we will type equal to first or greater than to C2. So we will type C2. Then value will be if both conditions are met, the refund is 50% of the shipping cost. So shipping cost is this one. I7, we will multiply this by the 50%, this one. C4, that is the shipping cost. Otherwise, value will be 0. So this is our formula. Let me look again. So when we click OK, we will get this value. Now we will copy the function down to the column I to get the other values, and like this we got the other values. So these are our values. So if both conditions are meeting, then we are getting the result. Otherwise, we are getting 0. That was our step number 5. Now we will move to our next step, and our next step is step number 6. Step number 6 is in cell B2, insert the count function. Count function to count the number of shipment for the Austin cell B1. Use appropriate mix cell references to the range argument to copy the column letters to the same. So basically, we are supposed to use the count function in cell B2 to get the number of count for the Austin shipment. Let me do this step, and we will use the count function now in cell B2. So first we will move to stat worksheet. This is stat worksheet, and we are supposed to apply the formula here in the sheet. This one, we will apply the formula here in the sheet, that is count function, this one, and then we will click on the insert function symbol, and we will select the range. Our range will be this one. And we will make this as dollar, and our criteria will be B1. So we will get the number of shipment for the Austin 8. Now we will calculate the number of shipment for the DFW and IH. So that will be our step number. So no, copy the function to the range C2 up to D2. So we will simply copy this function, and we will get the number of shipment for the Austin and for number of the shipment for the DFW. So we got the number of shipment for the Austin, DFW and IH, that is the Houston. So we will simply copy the formula from B2 to C2 and D2. That is our step number 6. And now we will move to our next step. Our next step is step number 7 now. In step number 7, it is saying that in cell B3, insert a sum function to calculate the total order of the Austin. Use the appropriate. So now we will, in step C6, in step 6, we use the count function, and in step 7, we are supposed to use the sum function to calculate the total order for the Austin. So in step 6, we calculated the count of the shipment of the Austin. Now we are calculating the total of the shipment for the Austin. And like this, we will calculate for the DFW and IH. Let me use the formula here and solve the step now. So here we are supposed to use the sum function. This is the sum function. Click on the insert symbol function so that we can get the function argument. So after our range will be this one again, C2 up to C12, C40, sorry. So our criteria will be B1, this one, and our sum range will be order total. So our range will be D12 up to D40. So we will get the result after using this formula. Total orders for the Austin are 9,095. Now we will copy this function to C2, C3 and D3 to calculate the total order value for the DFW and IH. We can simply copy the function, and we can paste it here. Then we will get the result for this one as well. So now we got the result for this one. Formula is same, only the criteria is changed, and criteria C1 now, and in this criteria will be D1 now, because this is for IH, this is for DFW, and this is for the AUS. So we got the total order value for the Austin, DFW and IH. Now we are going to calculate the average number of days for the Austin, DFW and IH. These are the statistics we are getting. So let's do this step now. That will be our next step. That is step number 8. So in step number 8, we are supposed to use the average function in cell B4 to calculate the average number of days for the shipment from the Austin, Like this, we will calculate the average number of the shipment for DFW. Like this, we will calculate the average number of the shipment for IEH, that is the Houston. So let's solve the step and use the if function again, average if function again. So we will use the average if function now, put equal sign now and type average and you will get the average if this one. Click insert symbol function so that we can get the function argument. So our range will be, so we are getting the number of days for this one. So no, rather to use column D sum range, we will use the total. So our range will be again this one, C12 to C40. This is our data range that we are using, and now our criteria will be again B1 because we are calculating for the Austin. Criteria is B1, and now our average range will be this one because we are calculating the average days for the Austin. So we will use this B12 up to B40, that is days column, and we will get the average days for the Austin like this one. So we get the average days for the Austin this one. Now we will copy this formula and we will paste in this one, and we will simply change the criteria. Now criteria will be C1 because we are getting for DFW, and now again we will copy the formula and paste in D3, D4, and we will change the criteria, that is D1. So copy this. Oh, sorry, you change this to D1. So we got the average number of days for the Austin, DFW, and the IAH. That is our step number 8. And now we will move to our next step. And our next step is step number 9 now. So in step number 9, we are supposed to use the COUNTIF function in cell C7 to count the number of order where the report code is IAH, cell D1, and the order total is greater than 1000. So now we will use a COUNTIF function in cell C7. That is our step number 9. Let's do this step now. So we will do this step now. So this is C7 and we are supposed to use the COUNTIF function here. This one. And now criteria range 1 will be again this one, C12 up to C40. This one. This is our criteria range 1. And our criteria 1 is D1. Why it is D1? Because it is saying that this one D1 where the code is IH. So our criteria range is 2 is the order total, that is column D from D12 to D40. That is criteria range 2. And our criteria 2 is greater than 1000 because it is given in the requirements. You can see that order total is greater than 1000. When we will click on it, we will get the value. So we got the number of order shift where the area code is IEH and the order total is greater than 1000. The number of order shift is 9. So total of order shift, that is next step, and we will move to our next step, that is step number 10. So I have shown you 9 steps for this assignment. This assignment have 23 steps. I have shown you step by step 9 steps for this assignment. Now I am going to do step number 10. So in step number 10, it is saying that in cell C3, insert the SUMIF function. Sorry, C8, we are supposed to use the SUMIF function to calculate the total order where the airport code is IH and the order total is greater than 1000. So condition will be same like step number 9, but now we are supposed to use the SUMIF function because we are going to calculate the total orders now. In step number 9, we got the Number of order, here we are getting a value that is the total order. So let's do this. So we are supposed to use the sum if function now. This one. Now sum range will be the column D, this one. This will be our sum range because we are going to calculate the total orders. Total of the orders. So criteria 1 will be D1, criteria 2 will be criteria 1 will be this one. This one, our criteria 1 will be D1, this one IH, and our criteria range 2 will be sum range. So our criteria 2 range will be column D again, this one, and we will get the result. We entered too many arguments for this section. Let me correct this function again. Is there any wrong value here? Let me do this. So we are supposed to add the our second criteria that will be greater than 1000. So our criteria, so sum range is column D, that is the order total. Criteria range 1 will be the column C that have the area codes. This one, report codes. Then criteria 1 will be the IH that is given in the requirement. You can see that this one IH D1, and our criteria range 2 will be the sum, this one again column D, and then criteria 2 is greater than 1000. So we will get the values like this one, and we are done with step number 10. And now we will move to our next step. Our next step is step number 11 now. So basically I have shown you ten steps for this assignment that are the tough part of this assignment. But if you want me to do this complete assignment for you, you can contact me on WhatsApp, email, or WeChat ID that I have mentioned. Now I am going to give you an overview of the remaining steps from step number 11 to end of the document. When you will use these, you will get a final version like this one. So step number 11 is to use the max if function in cell C9 to return the highest order total where. So we used max if function in cell C9 to get the highest order value. This is step number 11. Step number 12 is on the map worksheet. Insert a map for the stats and revenue part and paste the chart in C1. So this is the map worksheet. I have already inserted the map and I pasted the map in cell C1. So that is our step number 12. So step number 13 and 14 is the formatting of the chart. Format the data series to show only region with the data and show all the map. And step number 14 is change the map title to April 5-9 gross revenue. So I already changed the chart title or map title, and this map is only showing the areas where data is given. So that is step number 13 and 14. So let's move to step number 15 now. So in step number 15, it is saying that use the loan worksheet to complete the loan. So in cell F2, we are supposed to use the IPMT function to calculate the interest for the first payment. So this is the loan worksheet, and in cell F2, this is F2, and we got the interest rate. Then we will use the autofill handler to get the other values down to the column F. That is all about step number 15. In step number 16, it is saying that in cell G2, insert the PPMT function to calculate the principal paid. So when we calculate the principal paid, we use the PPMT function. And let me show you the result for this one. This is cell G2. We got the principal. When we will use the autofill handle, we can get the values down to the column G. So that is step number 16. Step number 17 is in cell H2, insert a formula to calculate the ending principal balance. So let me show you. This is the ending balance. we inserted a formula and we got the ending balance, and we will use the autofill header to get the other values down to the column H. So column 18, sorry, step number 18 is help B10 and start the comp IPMT function. Let me show you B10. B10 is here. We got this value. Then we got the principal paid in the next amount, this one. That this one, I have already shown you this principal paid in B11. So I have shown you complete assignment step by step, but if you want me to do this assignment for you, you can contact me and I will do this complete assignment for you. Thank you so much for watching my video. I will get back to you with another video. Thank you so much again.